Loneliness is a funny thing. It sneaks up on you sometimes when you least expect it. And there's a very fine line between the independent woman who wants to be alone and enjoys her own company and a person who's feeling socially isolated and lonely. It's a very fine line. And I want to talk to you today about some ways that you can create new habits. If you're finding yourself feeling a little bit lonely and depressed, a little out of sorts as you try to make a transition into a life outside of a job, outside of a family environment, I've got some suggestions for you. My name is Margaret Manning and I'm with 60andMe, and I want to welcome you here. Thank you so much for being here and joining our community of women all around the world. This topic of loneliness is a very important one, and I'm going to give you some guidance and some thoughts based on my own experience and that of the women in our community. Our show today is brought to you by International Living. Now, International Living is a company that deals with helping people retire overseas. They have wonderful experts on the ground who are checking out what's really going on in these places that you may be considering, and they put together reports and resources for you to check out. So go to their website, internationalliving.com/60andme, and see what reports they've got at the moment. They will send it to you free of charge. Just give them your email address and they'll let you know what's available at this moment. They've just published a global retirement index, which is a really great look at 20 different countries where you might want to consider retiring. So that in itself might be something that you're considering doing as a way of dealing with loneliness, that you might have decided that, this is your current environment is just not conducive to making new friends. You may be in a place now where you just want to go and make a whole new community of friends and relationships. And living abroad is definitely one of those options. But as I said, it sneaks up on you sometimes where you think you're in control, you've got everything going, you're feeling strong, you're feeling, your life is good, and that you're doing what you want with your life. You're living by yourself, perhaps after a divorce or a separation, or children, moving on with their own lives, and you may feel perfectly okay. And then suddenly it hits you. I'm not in a context anymore where I can make friends. I don't have that ritual of relationships and contact, and it can be very distracting, and it can be very harmful to your health. We know this. I don't need to remind you. We've talked about this topic before, and it's no big secret that loneliness is a killer. It is worse than many of the illnesses that we can do just through bad habits. But it's a very important thing to address. And there's been a lot of conversation about this recently. There's a new, I think it's a minister of loneliness in the UK now, where they put someone focused on this issue. And, a lot of people in their 70s and 80s don't talk to anybody, for days and days. And they just live in their little world of their own. And with that isolation comes, that kind of lack of caring for themselves and not feeling worthy or relevant. It's a very big problem. So what can we do? Okay, so we've got some ideas, and a lot of these you're going to go, yes, I know that's what I should do. But honestly, this is your time. You've got to do this for yourself. If you're sitting there by yourself on the sofa, you haven't spoken to anybody today and probably won't be speaking to anybody tomorrow, this is maybe a sign that you need to just take some action to change some habits. Now, Maureen Lake is one of our bloggers, and she wrote this article, which I'd like you to take a look at, because she talks about the desire that we have as human beings for, solitude and peace and renewal. We want to be, on our own sometimes, and many of us, if you ask, would say that we're introverts. We prefer our own company. We're kind of a little thrown off by large crowds or even groups. But but Maureen says you've got to think about it that it's really an important consideration when you're trying to live a long and happy and healthy life. Now, there's certain things that will happen to you that explain loneliness. You've moved to a new city. Yes, that's going to take time for you to make new friends. You've just got divorced, and all your life, for 40 years or whatever, has been in the context of a relationship. Yes, you're going to feel lonely. You may have children who've left home and moved away. This is so common now. They've gone to a different country, different city. Yes, that's going to help contribute to loneliness. But if if you're looking to make a change, there's only one person on this planet that's going to be able to help you with that, and that's you. You've got to look at your situation and say, yeah, it's easy to explain why I'm feeling lonely and then want to do something about it. So what are some of the habits that Maureen says you can change? And there's a couple that, you're going to go, yeah, I know that one, Margaret. As you told us that before. But seriously, there is no silver bullet here. It's not like I can say, do this and that's going to happen. There's just a number of different things that you can do together. And one of them is to get better sleep. Sleep is so important. If you're waking up during the night, if you're not getting to sleep, quickly, you're just lying in bed, kind of tossing and turning. Do something about this. There are some, there's some medicines you can take. I mean, there's some supplements that might work. But the thing is to put into practice some other things to do. Like, for example, for me, I listen to audiobooks. I always fall asleep when I'm listening to a book. I don't know why that is. It's just my mind just dozes off and then I sleep. So that's one technique. Another is to meditate. And meditation isn't mysterious. A lot of you are doing it already. Just as a matter of just stopping and breathing, watching your breath in and out, and just letting your thoughts come and go and not attaching yourself to them, not trying to fix them. What am I going to have dinner tomorrow? I'm concerned about this or that. Just, instead of dwelling on it, let it go. Meditation can be super helpful. Another thing is create an engaging social environment. I know that we say, I've been organizing all my life. I want someone else to organize it now. But honestly, that's just not the way that the world works right now, is it? You've got to get out there and create social environments of your own. Meetup.com is still, for me, one of the best places to go to meet people like-minded, do things that are of interest to you. I remember, I don't know if I've told you this, I started a train group for people that liked train journeys. So every other weekend we'd go somewhere by train. You can do just a get together for the movies or a get together for lunch, knitting club, book club. There's all kinds of things that you can do to just meet like-minded people. Meetup.com is one. Has anyone done a meetup meeting? Have you started one yourself? It's a very small amount of money to become a founder of a group, but it's like $7. But you can then just ask people in the group to give you a little bit back. So it's a win-win. Anyway, but if you have, let me know what you've done. Really, really curious. The next thing that Maureen mentions, which I think is a very nice one, is to nurture people, and just do things to help and volunteer. Go to, take pets for a walk, teach a class, just do something where you're helping. And babysit, offer to give help in the neighborhood, work at a food bank, donate clothes, work at the charity shop, but nurture, do something that's nurturing. That's the secret, is where you're helping someone. And you're bound to meet people that way. And you're bound to get thanks, and you're bound to feel better about yourself. So that's another thing. I think another thing that happens when you get lonely is you start to get cynical. It's a grumpy old woman or grumpy old man syndrome. It's where you just feel, whatever. Everything is a negative. And I notice this even sometimes on our 60andMe community. And it's so interesting that people have challenges with this. We often will do an article on something and ask a question. Like, what do you think about this? And instead of answering that question, they'll find some critical aspect about the person that we're featuring or the topic that we're talking about, and they'll immediately go to that stereotype of complaining and criticizing, bringing out all those biases. And yeah, we've all got biases, whether we admit it or not. But it's very interesting that we often default to that without thinking, hey, there's another way of having a conversation there. We can raise it up and look at the real opportunity for conversation. So that's another thing to do, is to just, open up your heart and mind to a new way of thinking. Break some of those habits of associations with negativity. Let things from the past go, if you can. I know it's hard. Trust me, I still carry things with me. But if you can just let those go and look at with new lens, new eyes. Another thing is to try something completely new. Is do something that you've never done before. This is something that I think is so cool. Go for a walk in a park that you've never been, or read a book in a genre that you've never read before. Go to an event, like a talk or a movie or somewhere that just isn't like you. I would normally never do that. Master something. We were talking a few days ago about relevance and how we often don't feel relevant as we get older. And one of the key things that it helps you is to be good at something. You master something so that you can offer your advice and your help and feel kind of grounded in that thing that you want to master. And then maybe go on a retreat or travel solo. Go on a cruise. Come with us on one of our trips. Do something that you've never, ever done. We've got a cruise to Norway, and I think half the people have never been on a cruise. And it's going to be so exciting it's just so brave too to do that. So that's something to consider as well. As I mentioned earlier, meditate. I think that according to Maureen, and I actually agree with her, is that meditation can be your best friend. Because it just gives you, not just when you're sitting in bed trying to sleep or you're trying to, just have a moment of reflection in the morning, it actually can help you in the world when you're out there. And something is stressful, you can just take a step back, go have a coffee or sit down for, just even move out of the crowd. I often do this. And just breathe and just, let that moment, you don't have to even close your eyes. You can just meditate with your eyes open, and it really, really helps. So most of us in our lives have dealt with loneliness. And I think that it would be wonderful if, you could share what you did. Yes, it's a choice. If you want to just continue the way you are, that's your choice. I think that it's a sad state of affairs that a lot of people don't feel they have a choice, feel they have an option. So if you know someone is feeling a bit lonely, a bit down, maybe talk to them about this article and give them some suggestions. So what about you? Have you found any good habits that you have established that have helped when you feel like you're a little lonely? Not just alone, which is okay, but feeling lonely. Like you just are carrying too much on your shoulders and you're feeling sad. Tell us what habits you've established. So have a great day, everybody. Go practice your, go join a meetup. Go do something crazy today yourself and let us know how you get on. But loneliness is something that we can work on together, and we're here to help. So take very good care. Have a wonderful day, and we'll talk again soon. Bye for now.